This is Coach Lee, and in this video, I'm going to answer the question, is my ex over me? It's a very often asked question, along with, has my ex moved on? Is there still hope? Take a quick second and click the subscribe button below so that you can be notified when I have more content like this that's helpful to your situation. And that includes romance, attraction, breakups, marriage, and mindfulness. So usually when people ask, is my ex over me? It's because they're asking, should they even bother anymore? Should they keep trying? Should they keep holding out that this person will come back? And the answer to that is not simply a yes or a no. Usually after a breakup, the best thing for you is to give yourself some time where you're not romantically involved with anyone anyway. That doesn't mean that you don't go out with your friends and that you aren't social, but it means that you're not ready to be in a relationship or to try to get romance sparked with somebody else. It's not good for you, and it will actually cause your relationships to be more shallow, at least generally speaking. And so that's best for you to hold off on that, but it's also a good time to practice no contact, which will give you the best chance of getting your ex back. And if you'd like to know more about the no contact rule, you can click the link in the description below to my video on that. And I have a post on my website at myexbackcoach.com about how you're not supposed to contact your ex after they break up with you. And the reason for that is not because you're trying to be cold or cruel or play some game with them, but actually because it's a mature response, because they have broken up with you. They have wanted to lower your role in their life, usually to extreme degree. And so, first of all, it's respecting their decision. It's showing maturity and strength. It's showing that you don't force yourself into people's lives when they don't want you there, which is very attractive. It's very strong. It's not chasing. When you're chasing, you are moving toward the other person, and physically, our reaction is to run away. Try it. When you're around a friend sometime, just start running at them. Not only is it extremely awkward, but you'll find that their first reaction is to run in the other direction. And that's true emotionally speaking as well. When pursuit is not wanted, and that's the key. Pursuit itself is not wrong. When you're in a relationship with someone, ideally you would both be pursuing the other. And I encourage you, if you're in a relationship with someone who thinks you should be the only one pursuing and that they should just sit back, welcome the pursuit, and enjoy that you're wanting them and getting validation from that and feeling sexy from that, you shouldn't be with that person, because that's at least borderline narcissism. It's almost like they're wanting to accept worship from you. Don't put up with that. And most people, after a breakup, really expect you to chase, to reach out, and to try to get them back. And at the moment, right after a breakup, your ex is actually usually relieved just to get the breakup over with. And if you try to continue contact and try to continue to be in their life, you don't let them get past that stage to where they can actually see you not being in their life as a negative. And so it interrupts that relief point, and you become a source of irritation and frustration and them feeling sorry for you, which is not attraction. Don't fall for the idea that if you can make them feel sorry for you, that they will be attracted to you and want to get back together with you. They may feel sorry for you, but that's not going to raise attraction. It's very different. And so I have more about the no contact rule, but just know that it's very important after someone breaks up with you to give them the breakup. And at first, it might seem like that your ex is over you, so to speak. And of course, people define that differently. What does it mean to be over someone? Most people would say that it means that they are focused elsewhere, that there's no hope of getting them back, and that they are not interested in pursuing a relationship with you again in the future, which is true most of the time when someone breaks up with you, or else they wouldn't do it, which is very key for you to realize that at the moment, your ex's mind and heart is not where you want it to be. That's just how it is at the moment, but it's a moving target. No contact, giving them the breakup, respecting their decision, not chasing, giving them silence, that is what can get them to where you want them to be. That's what can change things. And so to answer the question, is my ex over me? For the moment, possibly. I have a video called My Ex Says There's No Hope of Us Getting Back Together. I'll link to that in the description below as well, along with my emergency breakup kit, which is the culmination of my 20 years in the relationship coaching service, and it's a guide to getting your ex back. So take a look at that as well. But expect that your ex will say things that sound like they don't want to get back together, because at the moment they don't. That's why they broke up with you. If they had wanted to stay with you and they were really serious about the long term and thought that was what they wanted with you, then they would not break up with you and risk losing you, because sometimes people who are dumped do not ever want to take the other person back. I usually encourage people to give grace to the other person, because we're all human, and sometimes after a breakup, couples can be stronger than ever, because if the other person comes back, and if you use the no contact rule, the odds are really good that they will. If the other person comes back, they've actually learned a valuable lesson that can be used in the future if you two have difficulty. Because they might think, I don't want to be with them, but then they will remember that when they broke up with you and they were away from you and were without you, that they missed you, that they reflected, that they saw things more clearly and wanted to be back with you. And that can keep them from leaving again. It can remind them that life's not perfect, that things happen, and that working things through because you love this person is actually best for the both of you, because no relationship is going to be perfect. It's interesting that in surveys of married couples, most of them admit that if they weren't married, they probably would have already broken up several times. And yet they're married and they're together because things happen. People work through things, people forgive, people understand the other person better. And sometimes it's just life makes us feel like we aren't sure what we want and what our goals are. And it can confuse people to where they don't even think that they want to be with the person that they are romantically committed to. But that's where that feeling of family, which if you have developed that with someone, beyond the romance, beyond the sparks, the lust, the limerence, which I have a video called What is Limerence? And it's a great one for anyone who's interested in romance at all, especially if your significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse is involved with someone else. Find out about limerence. I will link to that in the description below as well. But people who have the feeling of family together, that connection, that's what will bring people back, because most of the other things can dip, can ebb and flow, and the sparks of a new relationship will fade with time. And when it leaves, the shell falls off, and what you have is the feeling of family, that connection that goes beyond just hormones or youth. It's with you as time goes on and you move forward. And people who come back usually feel that feeling of family with you, and they want that back. But the problem is, if you won't give them a chance to miss you, to see life empty of you, then they don't know. And so if you keep pushing them, it's going to seem like they are over you, because they are. They don't want you at the moment. They don't want you involved. They want you to back off because they think that's what they want. So give it to them and let them see if that's what they want. And it may take a while. I get a lot of emails, and sometimes people will contact me and say, I tried no contact. It's been 3 days. It's not working. That person has not watched my video on what is the no contact rule all the way through, and they don't understand what no contact is, because no contact usually takes a lot longer than 3 or 4 or 5 days or a week. It takes longer, and you have to be prepared for that. Having realistic expectations early on after the breakup that this could take some time. It doesn't mean that this person doesn't care about you, doesn't miss you. Just because you're not hearing from them, it doesn't mean that they aren't missing you, that it's not difficult for them. But they have to get to a point where they fear losing you. They fear the loss. And you may think, well, since they broke up with me and they don't want to be together with me, how could they feel the loss? They don't want to be with me. They want to lose me. That's a good point, except that, again, I refer you back to what I said earlier. It's a moving target. We already know that the mind of your ex is not where we want it to be right now. And I have a video called What is Your Ex Thinking During No Contact? I will link to that in the description below as well. Take a quick second and click the subscribe button below so that you can be notified when I have more videos like this on understanding your romantic partner, limerence, marriage, romantic relationships, breakups, and mindfulness. Just click the subscribe button below. Now, what I was saying earlier in the video about people wondering if this person was over them and moving on and there was no more chance of getting together with them. The thing is that I've even seen people get back together after 10 years of being broken up. 11 is the maximum. Now that's extreme, that's rare, and a lot of people move on themselves and date other people and do other things in life, and so it's not even relevant. But I'm just saying that I question if there ever is a point, if two people genuinely cared about each other and had a good relationship, if there ever truly is a point where it's impossible. Now, if there was abuse, if there was cheating and the person just can't get past it, because sometimes people can't, oftentimes they can't, that's different with different people and different relationships. But in those situations, it's more questionable. Maybe there is a point when it's impossible for the two of them to get back together. But with most relationships, I would say it's not ever impossible as long as you two are unmarried and alive, which is kind of humorous to say, well, there's always a chance as long as the two of you are alive. Yeah. That patience is going to be very powerful for you and serve you very well if you want your ex back and you're wondering if they have moved on from you and if they're over you. That's where you're getting too far ahead. You're getting impatient and you need to take a step back, take things one day at a time and realize this is a moving target and you may be ahead, you may be behind. It takes time. It's like a cake in the oven. As I've said in lots of videos, time is part of the equation. You can't just crank the temperature up and expect the cake to cook faster. You'll just burn the cake and part of it will be mush. It's an odd thing when you try to force it. That's also the case with human nature. There's usually a lot of panic behind the question, is my ex over me? Because you're wondering, do I have a chance? Or am I just devastated because I'll never get this person back? If you subscribe to my channel and you watch some of my videos, you know that I'm really optimistic because after 20 years, I've seen so many reunions from couples where one of them thought it was impossible and they were really down about it, but they were committed to using no contact and to staying in no contact. And I held their hand during the process, encouraging them to stay away, talking them off the ledge when they wanted to text their ex. And it worked. And I see that so many times that I'm more shocked when no contact doesn't work. And of course, as I've said in other videos, that doesn't mean you ignore them when they reach out. That's not what I'm talking about with no contact, because when they're reaching out, unless they're insulting you or just wanting their things back or something, then they're moving in your direction. And you don't want to kill that momentum. You want to embrace it and let it move, but you also want to be casual and polite and not be the one pushing. You want to let them come to you. But you will find that with this question is usually a lack of patience. And so what I'm encouraging you to work on, if you were asking this question, is patience and your inner strength to stay away, because you will do yourself no favors if they have broken up with you and you keep forcing your way into their life by trying to talk them into getting back together with you, or sending them gifts to try to bribe them, or trying to make them feel guilty, thinking that that will get them back. Because even if it does, and they just do it because they feel really guilty, usually what happens is they will break up with you again after only a few days, and they will be gone for much longer, and the odds of getting them back decrease. And you may think, well, Coach Lee, you said that you think that with most relationships, it's still possible to get back together. Yes, but after enough time, both of you could be involved with someone else and end up marrying that person or just committing yourself to that person. And then, of course, you might lose contact completely and not even know how to contact this person. So that's what I'm referring to. There's no clear definition of, okay, now they are over me. Are they more distracted by another person? Are they focused on moving on? Are they not interested in the moment in being with you? Possibly so. But as long as you are doing the right things and you two had a good relationship, there is a very solid chance that you can get them back. Take a quick second and click the subscribe button below so that you can be notified when I have more content like this that's helpful to your situation. If you like this video, please give it a like. Take a look at the link to my emergency breakup kit. It's a guide to help you get your ex back It's the culmination of my 20 years in the relationship coaching service. This has been Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.